reactions to the Ohtani signing with the LA Dodgers?
Shocked. I was also very shocked. And when I saw the 7, I had to I was like, wait, what?
Had to
Truthfully,
rub out, make sure there's
yep.
no dirt on the screen.
I'm like, is that a blur? Truthfully, I thought it could go to 600, maybe even 650. I thought maybe 7. I was definitely in awe, and then even more in awe when the contract details started to come out, the deferments, and I'm still kind of shocked about the contract itself, and we're going to get into all the pros and cons of it. But obviously, Shohei had a plan of what he wanted to do. And from a baseball fan standpoint, it's awesome that a player would want to do something like that to give their to give their team the best chance of winning championships, because that's ultimately what it's all about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and from other fan bases' points of view, I mean, we're pissed because it's kind of like it just sucks. Quite frankly, like when I saw it, I'm just like, really, really. So I was shocked, and furthermore, I was kind of shocked the floodgates didn't open more. I thought that once that domino fell, I was at a wedding that day. I thought I'd be getting notifications for the rest of the day, but it seemed like it was just a lot of talking more about the craziness of the contract. So that was my first initial reaction.
100%. Jeffrey Stigman here in the comments says he gave the Dodgers a bargain, and at least from a cash flow perspective, yes. So 100% over the course of the first 10 years of this deal. Jeremiah says that contract is bad for baseball. Tyler, your thoughts? Do you agree with Jeremiah, or do you think it's okay?
I mean, we're talking about a unicorn of a player with a unicorn type contract that we may never see in our lifetime again. Just because Ohtani, I mean, they showed it on, all over ESPN, MLB, and all those other networks, like as far as comparing his contract to other people in sports. I mean, Ohtani, there's, you've got Jordan. That's a brand. You've got, what's his name? I don't keep up with soccer, but Messi,
Sure.
that's a brand. Ohtani is a brand. I mean, that money, let's be honest. Like, I'm like Nick and Ron, I'm just like you guys. I was just as shocked on Saturday. I was actually at the mall in Nashville on Saturday and my wife was in a store somewhere. So I was sitting on a couch somewhere. So I was able to sit there and go back and forth with you guys, just like, holy shit. And let's be honest, like 700 million, the Dodgers are going to make that money. They're going to make 2 to 300 million of that probably before Christmas, just in jersey sales alone. And so when you see that 700 million at first, you're like, oh man, that's bad for baseball. But to be honest, it's good for baseball, in my opinion, just because it shows that, like, just a few years ago with people saying, oh, baseball is a dying sport. There's no money in baseball. Bullshit. Bullshit. There ain't no money in baseball. Like, the Dodgers was like, I hear what you're saying. Let me just show you how you're wrong. And I think just this is going to bring more eyes to baseball itself. Like you got, to be honest, I was probably more shocked of the $2 million, like his $2 million option he decided to go with.
Sure.
And yeah, I get it. Some people are mad. Some people are upset. I mean, let's be honest. At least we're not Blue Jays fans. At least this is not a Blue Jays podcast. Am I right? Because we were all talking that morning about how, oh yeah, there's a good chance he's going to Toronto with all that stuff that happened. But as far as bad for baseball, I don't think it's bad for baseball. And with the whole $2 million thing that, as far as making $2 million for the next 10 years, technically they played by the rules. It sucks. It does. It really sucks. It's like, my God, but in my opinion, most teams, large market teams, could have offered Shohei that money. Yes. But I don't think, as far as just speaking from the Cubs standpoint, I don't think they could offer and give everything to Ohtani that the Dodgers were able to give him, if that makes sense. I get it. Yeah.
Sure.
Obviously they could afford the contract, but like he said at the beginning of it, money, and this is going to sound crazy, but it's like what Ohtani said earlier, as far as money not being an option, or as big of a deal as winning was to him. And he should, because let's be honest, he was going to get his money wherever he went. He was going to get his money wherever. It's just, the Dodgers just were able to offer so much more as far as like that, like we talked about before the show, the lineup, just the ease, whatever the comfortability that he already has in LA and everything. Yeah, it sucks that the Cubs didn't get him, but hey, not to go on a huge rant, but I think this contract, to be honest, I don't think it's bad for baseball. I don't.
I think in general too, and quickly, I want to give the couple of comments their glory before I give my 2 cents. But Jeremiah says not the 700 million, just how it's structured. And then Bernie came back and said, "I get it. Ohtani wants to win a lot of World Series rings potentially. For starters, if we were a Blue Jays podcast, this thing would have put a hole in a wall."
Yes.
Let's be completely frank.
Yeah.
For those that can't see what I'm holding up, not watching along with us live, again, if you want to watch along with us live, head over to the YouTube channel and you can watch along with us live or watch us on repeat. My cell phone is currently sitting in my hand. This thing would put a hole in a wall if I was a Blue Jays fan. But there's so much to think about, guys, and this is the thing that I love in sports. So people that might not know a lot about me personally, my background, I'm in accounting. That was my background. I'm a numbers nerd. I love numbers. It's what I do. If it's got dollar signs and dots and zeros after it, that's my shit. This contract is so fascinating on so many levels, right? Because again, there's a lot of things I think that people aren't considering at the fact that they're like, well, this doesn't hamstring the Dodgers. No, it doesn't. But it still kind of does. Like there's a lot of aspects to this. People see that $2 million a year and they say he's getting paid what David Bodie's getting paid. This is the difference between Shohei Ohtani and every other player in baseball. Shohei Ohtani makes like $60 million a year off the field.
And that, just real quick, that's probably about to double next year.
100%. 100%. Because he is the face of baseball. Shohei Ohtani is not just the best player in Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani is a Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo-esque figure in the world from a sporting perspective because of the country of Japan, because of the fan base that he's generated in the United States. Hell, if I'm a fan trying to pick up baseball in another country, Shohei Ohtani is a player that I'm probably a huge fan of, right? Look at the new baseball league over in Dubai that just started up with guys like Bartolo Colon and Didi Gregorius and other former MLB household names playing in it now. Baseball is becoming a worldwide game, and Ohtani's at the face of it. Ohtani didn't need the money. It wasn't about money to Ohtani. And don't get me wrong, he's still getting his dollars. But this contract isn't just all, oh, the Dodgers are sitting pretty and, Ohtani only costs you $2 million. He still has a $46 million luxury tax hit. That is still bigger than pretty much every other player in baseball. So he's not, yes, it still gives them some financial flexibility, but the Dodgers can't just roll around and go pick up everybody that they want. They're going to pick up guys, don't get me wrong, but they still got to worry about that for the next 10 years. But then on top of it, the franchise itself owes the guy $68 million a year for 10 consecutive seasons for him to not play for the team. That's a lot of money to pay a guy. And don't get me wrong, Ohtani's a name that's probably, you're at least going to break even on that money. More likely than not, especially in LA. But it's a contract that, again, Tyler, I think you put it really perfectly. It worked for the Dodgers because of Ohtani's comfortability in LA, the closeness that it has. There's nonstop flights every day out of LA. Jim Hillman, got, longtime commenter now of the program and a friend of ours, said it the one day that we were talking about. He said, I think he goes to LA. There's nonstop flights to Japan out of LA every single day. He has the ability to still go home. LA offered him something that no other city could. And that's just is what it is. The contract is good for the Dodgers. It's not great for the Dodgers. It's good for the Dodgers. They still got to make more moves. I don't know about you guys. And we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. And I encourage everybody listening to this to go look at it. Go look at the Dodgers lineup right now. And tell me after 1, 2, and 3, once you get past Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani, if you're really scared of that lineup. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not. Gavin Lux? Will Smith? Good player. Really good player. Really nice number 4 or 5 hitter on most teams. Absolutely. Max Muncy at this point in his career? Jason Hayward? Not a shot at J.A. I love J.A. But this is not an all-star team. You have 3 elite just horses at the top of that lineup right now. They still got a lot of shit to do. Tyler, you brought it up. What about their pitching rotation?
Exactly.
They got a lot of pitching questions to ask. Julio Urias, they just made a decision today on what's happening with him, and he's going to get suspended. He's probably not a Dodger next
Oh,
year.
I didn't see that. What's
Yeah.
his suspension?
So no suspension yet. They still got to determine if he's going to get criminally charged or not. Effectively, is where it's at now. But there was discussion about it today.
Gotcha.
Gonsolin's hurt. Bueller's coming back from a significant injury. You have no Ohtani pitching in 24. Just because they signed Ohtani this year.
Dustin May.
Bingo.
Same thing. He don't come
They
back
got
till like the middle
they
of
still
summer.
got a lot of question marks in that Dodgers team. Yes, it gives them the flexibility to address some of those moves for sure. But I think to the people that are screaming and crying wolf, yes, the Dodgers are everywhere, right? They're in the rumor mill with Glasnow now as potentially one of the favorites. They're in the rumor mill with Yoshinobu Yamamoto as well. But there are so many Cubs fans, and this is where I want to start getting your guys' opinion, because this is a topic that we talked about in the pre-show a little bit. There are a lot of Cubs fans that are just screaming that the sky's falling and that this is the worst possible thing for the Chicago Cubs. And yes, does the lack of moves to this point in this big contract certainly scare people? Maybe. But let's sit here and be honest with ourselves. Are the Dodgers astronomically better than they were a season ago? Sure. Ohtani's a great player. Ohtani's got to stay healthy, though. Ohtani, you're banking on a lot with one player. Yes, he's just coming off the AL MVP. I'm not sitting here and saying that Ohtani's not going to make the Dodgers a better team. But I think to the people that are saying, well, the Dodgers are a super team, are they? This isn't basketball. 3 out of 5 guys being your elite guys on the floor doesn't make you an unstoppable force. 9 guys still got a bat in that lineup. 8 of them still got to play defense behind your pitcher. You still got to be able to pitch. I think people need to take a step back and say, hey, good for Ohtani. I'm all for Ohtani. Good for him. That dude's great-grandchildren are taken care of for life. But there are so many moving pieces still.